was 15, I had met Lennie Tristano and started studying with Lennie as soon as I turned 16, which was most unusual growing up. I read about him in a book in my high school library called Jazz Masters of the 50s. And I went to Berklee College of Music for a summer course when I was 15. And happened to be in the library, and a lady sat across from me in the library, and she had one of Lennie's great records, the New Tristano, the solo record. And she said she found it in a bargain bin for like $2. And she was gushing about it, and it turns out she was a student of Lennie's. And I was really hungry for a teacher then, and she gave me his number and said he was a great guy, call him up. So I called him up from Berklee College of Music when I was 15. His response, I'll tell you the story, which is in my Tristano masterclass. I was very nervous, and he picked up the phone. I said, Mr. Tristano? He goes, call me Lennie. I said, I need help. He said, what kind of help do you need, David? I said, I need pianistic help. So he said, this is the first time I spoke with him. I was 15, calling him from Berklee. He said, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. When you get back from Berklee, you call me up, and you're gonna come to my house, and I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna rip you off, and you can tell me to go fuck myself. It's like on the phone, yes, Mr. Tristano, Lennie, yes, you can rip me off, go fuck yourself, yes. Anything you say, sir. It happened just like that. I called him up when I got back to my house in New York and went over to meet him. At that time, his lessons were $10, and then once a month, they were $15 when he had to pay his rent. And so he had an interview before you met him, before we started lessons. And the interview was just to kind of check you out. And he said, what is your music like? And I said, my music, I play like a combination of Art Tatum and Cecil Taylor. And he said, he looks at me like he didn't really have eyes, you know, he had like it was like no, whatever. And he opened up his eyes really wide. And he goes, I'd really like to hear that. Would you mind playing a little bit? And I said, no, not really. I don't want to. He said, okay, we can do that when we start. And sure enough, we started just the next week. And it was a great experience. I was aware that I was in the presence of extreme genius and was very fortunate to be there. And so I just surrendered completely. And was very young, so I did whatever he told me to do, and it worked out. And he was a wonderful teacher, he was a wonderful person, and he was everybody's guru, even though he himself had a very difficult life. And he was able to be the rock of Gibraltar for everybody else in that scene. I came for a lesson. He met me at the door, didn't say anything. And the first thing he says is, Thelonious Monk was the stupidest piano player who ever lived. Another time he was playing, and see that we had lessons and he would play. He wasn't playing publicly then, but he was really into his teaching. And you know, it was like he was really there for you, and he was really into it. He knew he was creating a lot of musicians that were going to be serious. And so he gave it his all to us. And he used to play with students at lessons, and he used to really play. I mean, the real deal. And if you were lucky enough, which I was, to take a lesson after a drummer or a bass player, you would get the chance to hear him play every week. So we did have that chance, and we heard him play. And he was playing, he knew that I liked Art Tatum, and he was playing something I didn't pick it up at the moment, but it was incredible. And he came right after he finished, he came right up to me and goes, that's by your favorite pianist. and it was elegy. So it was just a great experience. It was fun. And I had friends that were also doing it, so we had a whole scene of people that were studying with them. And we're all still at it.